Hello everyone, welcome to Aryabhata Ashram. Today we are going to carry forward with our solution series of UPSC 2020. Today we will take questions from calculus. Before we start solving the question, let us see some of the questions which we gave in our test, that is Aryabhata Ashram Mathematics Test Series 2020. We gave a question on asymptote. Many students neglect this question and they think that questions have been asked, but we gave question on asymptote in our test series. We were invariably giving one or the two questions, and the concept which we know from doing these tests, you will be able to answer the question. And we also gave question on Lagrange multiplier. This is the same nature of question which has been asked in our 2020 mains examination. So the point I'm trying to make is that there are comprehensive ways of doing questions. Like this also, you can see questions on the asymptote we have been asking all the time. So until unless you do not do the holistic study and you do not do each and every topic which is in your syllabus and do more scientifically, you are not going to do all of them. And secondly, the questions that are being asked these years is that it's not that you do some of the questions repeatedly time and again, and it's not any art class that you can repeat certain things. You also need to have some basic fundamental ideas of your basic class 12. Until and unless you will see most of the questions are of class 12 nature itself. So now we are going to do some of the questions in this. Okay, so we will take up question one by one, and we are going to take calculus questions over here. Now, calculus questions. So first question is your question number 1C, which is limit x tends to pi by 4 and tan to the power tan 2x. Okay, and this was asked for 10 marks. Now I'm going to solve this question. Before I do so, let me make some comment. Is this question out of the box question? No, it is not. Invariably, after 1 or 2 years, they ask question on 1 to the power infinity or indeterminate form. So if you just check your previous year questions on these lines, and even in our sheets, we come up with this kind of questions. So this is very much unpredictable line. If you are making any calculation mistake in this question, then you are losing precious marks, because here you cannot afford to lose marks. These are compulsory questions and it will be counted as a silly mistake, and that will reduce your final score. Now, I can write this as limit L is equal to limit x tends to pi by 4 tan x to the power tan. This is 1 to the power 2x. This is what you study at your class 12 level, and it is of this form 1 to the power infinity. So I will solve this by two methods. So I can write this as 1 plus tan x minus 1 to the power tan 2x. Okay, 1. So this is 1 plus fg to the power gx limit x tends to, and this is particularly pi by 4. It can be any limit as long as, so this we can write e to the power limit x tends to, here we have taken pi by 4 fx gx, and gx tends to infinity and fx tends to 1. So we can write this as e to the power limit x tends to pi by 4 tan x minus 1 into tan 2x. So this you can write as limit x tends to pi by 4, and I am going to expand tan 2x is 2 tan x upon 1 minus tan square x. So this is nothing but e to the power limit x tends to pi by 4 tan x minus 1 to 2 tan x 1 plus tan x 1 minus tan x. Okay, so we will solve this question. You can see this goes off, so I can write this as e to the power minus ln x tends to pi by 4 2 tan x plus 1 plus tan x. Okay, so tan pi by 4 is 1. This is your minus 2 1 plus 1, so is e to the power minus 1. Okay, now we have got our answer. Okay, so this is your final answer, e to the power minus. Or alternatively, you could have taken limit like this, tan to the power, I am just telling you the basic of class 12. You can take log on both sides, and this gives you limit x tends to pi by 4, and this gives us tan 2x log tan x. So this is your indefinite form, 0 by 0 form you can see over here. So I can write that limit x tends to. Now you must be vigilant that you do not make any calculation mistakes. So I can write this as log tan x by cot 2x. So this can be written as limit x tends to pi by 4, and we can write this with this is 0 by 0 form, so we can differentiate this. So this is nothing but your tan x sec square x upon minus of 2 cos square 2x. So if you just put the value, what you get, minus 2 into 2 plus 1. So what you get, so log L, so you can say this as L is equal to e to the power minus 1. Whichever way you do, that is your choice, but you should not make any calculation mistake. That is the whole point. Now after question number 1C, we have question number 1D. As I've already told, we were asking questions on asymptote. Okay, so this is given as question. Find all the asymptotes. Find all the questions of asymptotes of the curve 2x plus 3y is equal to x minus 1 whole square. And again this was asked for 10 marks. We have been giving question on asymptote in each and every of the test, because for more than 20 or 15 years or so, question has been not asked from this. So UPSC picks question from all areas. So I can write this as y is equal to x minus 1 whole square by 2x plus 3. Now we will find out the vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote. So it is vertical asymptotes are vertical lines which correspond to 0 in the denominator. So equate denominator to 0. This is nothing but your 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. So x is equal to minus 3 by 2. So this is what we get our one asymptote. That is your parallel to x-axis. So coefficient of, or alternatively you can say coefficient of highest power of y, which is nothing but 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. That is put to 0. Okay. So this is one of your asymptote. Now we will move for horizontal asymptote. Horizontal asymptotes. For horizontal asymptote, here degree of numerator, you can write here y. Degree of numerator is greater than degree of denominator. So we can say that there is no horizontal asymptote. There is no horizontal asymptote. There is no horizontal asymptote. Okay, so these are given in any of your basic BSc book, and this question is very much on expected line. So there is a myth that lot of question has appeared out of the context. Each of them is having all the context in this examination. So horizontal asymptote we have found out. Okay, so there is no horizontal asymptote because highest coefficient of x is constant. Okay, so there is no horizontal asymptote. You can see. We can also argue that coefficient of highest power is coefficient of highest power of x is constant. So there is no horizontal asymptote. Now, thirdly, we will go for oblique or slant asymptote. Or oblique asymptote. Slant or oblique asymptote. Now, this is your equation 2x plus 3y is equal to x minus 1 whole square. So we can put this value 2x plus 3 and this gives us mx plus c. We are putting it x minus 1 whole square. Now we will collect the coefficient of, we can write this as 2mx square plus 2c plus 3m x. I am collecting the coefficient of x, that is 2c plus 3m. Okay, plus 3c is equal to x square minus 2x plus 1. Alright, now. So I will write this as 2m minus 1 x square plus 2c plus 3m plus 2 is the coefficient of x, and finally 3c minus 1 is equal to 0. So we will put the coefficient of x square and x to 0. So once we do, we are going to get the value of our m and c. So what is it? So 2m minus 1 is equal to 0. 2c plus 3m plus 2 is equal to 0. So m is nothing but half. Okay. Now 2c plus 3 by 2 plus 2 is equal to 0. So 2c plus 7 by 2 is equal to 0. Okay. So c we get minus 7 by 4. So this is your slant asymptote, x by 2 minus 7 by 4. Again of this similar nature question I have given in the test paper. Those of you who have taken the test would really appreciate this. So finally we can write this is our slant asymptote. Or many of the standard textbook, what they do, they put y is equal to m and x is equal to 1 in the equation. So what is our equation? Equation is x square minus 2xy minus 2x minus 3y plus 1. So we write this as 1 by 2m and this is 1 degree term. So this is minus 2 minus 3m. So slope of the asymptote are real roots. Slopes of asymptotes are real roots of phi 2m is equal to 0. So again here we get m as half. M as half. And C we use from the standard formula. And I have been emphasizing on this question many times. Minus of 2. So this is nothing but your minus 2 plus 3m by 2. So which method you do, that is your choice. So m we have got half, put over here, 2 plus 3 by 2 minus 7 by 4. Now what is the thing that you should bear in mind is that if you draw, what is expected further is that you can draw the asymptotes. Okay. And you can use the scale to do so. You can draw the horizontal and vertical and your slant asymptote. That drawing graph will add value to the answer, because graph is very important in calculus. And once you do that, the examiner may give you half or 1 marks more. So this is what the value addition is. You can draw the oblique asymptote also. That is not a point. Now moving forward, question number 2a. 0 say 1 tan inverse. Now before I solve this question, I would like to make some comments that whether this question is within the framework of your examination. I mean, where is this question coming from? There is a property of A to B. This should immediately strike your mind, but then A plus B minus X. One of the ways this. Another point in term that strikes to candidates should be your integration by parts. Okay, and this is your class 12th level question. So the concept of this question is repeated. I can give you many examples. There are many formats. UPSC will write like this. In 2014, they have asked this question. There are umpteen number of questions on such line, and you can appreciate this. But then, do not use this blindly. This question, UPSC has tricked you if you do not know the basics of inverse trigonometric function. Okay, so we will do this question. Now I will begin with a very succinct solution for this. I will write within 2 to 3 lines. Okay, so I begin this integral as 0 to 1 tan inverse 1 minus 1 by x dx. Okay, so now I can write this as integral is equal to 0 to 1 tan inverse. I'm going to use this property. Okay. Now, this can be written as 0 to 1 tan inverse 1 minus x. Okay. Now, from here, we can use our trigonometry, inverse trigonometry. That is, I can write this tan inverse of 1 by x is equal to cot inverse of x when x is equal to 0, greater than 0. When x is less than 0. So here I am going to use this. Once you know this property, you can very easily write 0 to 1 tan inverse of x minus x upon x minus x. I can write this as 0 to 1 minus pi plus cot inverse okay. 0 to 1 minus pi plus cot inverse 1 minus 1 by x. Okay. Now, one of the very important thing is that we all know this property tan inverse x plus tan inverse y. Many of them have tempted to do this. That is right, but then there is a condition that xy should be less than 1. So when you apply your formulas in mathematics, you cannot blindly apply it. You have to use the constraint and conditionality that is imposed. So tan inverse x plus cot inverse of x is equal to pi by 2. This is the basic thing which is here at your class 11th trigonometry and inverse trigonometry function. So for this part, I can write this as 0 to 1 minus pi plus pi by 2 we can use it this point. So rather than putting it, what I will do, I will straight away write 0 minus 1, and in place of cot inverse 1 minus 1 by x, I will write this is your function. This is my I, and also my I is 0 to 1 tan inverse 1 minus 1 by x. Suppose if I call this my equation 1 and equation 2 and I add both of them, this is nothing but your 0 to 1 minus I plus cot inverse 1 minus 1 by x plus tan inverse 1 minus 1 by x. Okay. Now I am going to use this as pi by 2. This is your pi by 2. So 0 to 1 minus 1 pi by 2 dx. This is nothing but your minus pi by 2. So I can write this as minus pi by 4. So many of the students have asked me this question, and I thought that I should shed light on this one. Okay, so you can also apply with regard to other things also. Okay, I will develop on that as well. Now a graphical approach, if you see, we all remember the graph of tan inverse x. So, and there is pi by 2 is there, minus pi by 2. So this is your tan inverse graph. But suppose I want to draw the graph of tan inverse of 1 by x. Okay, that can also be done. But we are interested in the graph of tan inverse of 1 minus 1. I know you will not remember all of this graph, but this is just to justify graphically. So I can write this as this graph. So this is the graph of your tan inverse. The point I am trying to make is that within the bounds of 0 to 1, this is your minus pi by 4. So this is the graphical interpretation, which obviously will not be asked in examination, but you can verify your answer like this, and this is basically done to give justification for graphical interpretation. Now, this question I told this is class 12 question. Some of you might think that this can be done by integration by parts. Indeed, it can be done by integration by parts. So I will do by integration by parts. So this is your x tan inverse of 1 minus 1 by x 0 to 1 minus of 0 to 1 x into 1 by 1 plus x minus 1 whole square into of minus of x square dx. So this is your 1 tan inverse 1 minus 1 is your 0, 0. So this is your x, and we can write this as or 1 x square plus x minus 1 whole square dx. So finally what we get as an integral is your minus of 0 to 1 dx x upon x square plus x minus. Now this is the thing. This is your integral. So for the time being, I call this my integral I is equal to minus of, suppose I call alpha. So I'm interested in alpha. 0 to 1 x dx x square plus x minus 1 whole square. So alpha can be, again I'm using the property a to b fx dx is equal to, so we have to use this property if we wish. So this can be written as 1 minus x, this can be written as 1 minus x whole square plus 1 minus of x minus 1 whole square. So this is again what we write is as x square. We can use sign alternatively now. So alpha is equal to, if I do 2 alpha, that is 0 to 1, and this become dx upon x square plus 1 minus x whole square. So 2 alpha is your 0 to 1 dx 2x square minus 2x plus 1. This I can write it as 0 to 1. I can take 2 common. So once I do that, this is x square minus x plus half. So alpha is nothing but 1 by 4, 0 to 1 dx. I can write this as x minus half whole square. I'm completing the square. And this can be now further integrated. So alpha is nothing but 1 by 4 into 1 by 2 tan inverse x minus half upon half 0 to 1. So this we get as 1 by 4 into 2 into tan inverse 2x minus 1. This is your 0 to 1. So this is 1 by 2. I can put the values. This is tan 2 minus 1 minus of tan inverse of minus of 1. So alpha is half. This is your pi by 4 minus pi by 4. So alpha we get as pi by 2. Alpha half into pi by 2. So alpha we get as pi by 4. But here is not, alpha is not the answer, but minus alpha is the answer. So integral is minus alpha, that is your minus pi by 4. So most of you have got this question wrong and have asked me. So I am trying to give justification for this question. Okay. Now the various approaches that you have done is this fact. I is equal to 0 say 1 minus 1 by x, isn't it? So you have written it. I will directly write because that's what we wrote. And you are using that property tan inverse x plus tan inverse y, but you have to use with caution. So if I use this as 2i is nothing but 0 to 1 tan inverse x minus 1 by x plus tan inverse minus of x upon dx. Now you cannot blindly use the formula. Okay, so what you get this as 2i is equal to 0 to 1, the same thing which I used in the first case, isn't it? The first method that I did, I wrote it directly like this, and I have to change this sign. Okay, minus pi plus cot inverse x. So this you can again write this as 0 to 1 pi by 2 minus pi d. So that is one and the same thing. I just did this because you have to be cognizant of the fact that whenever you are applying any trigonometric formula, you must also ensure the conditions and constraint put onto them. Now this is how, by using integration by parts, graphical approach, and thirdly the principle of definite integral and some of the formula of inverse trigonometric function. So you see the questions are of applied nature. If you are not going to solve question wholeheartedly and not mechanically, if you do question mechanically and you are thinking that the questions will come from a nested question loops of the question, that is not UPSC will change its course, as we can see, and these questions are of very fundamental nature. So even you cannot complain that questions are very hi-fi and they are out of the context. They are very much within the context. Even last year also I told, now the primacy is going towards your basic integral and differential calculus. These fundamentals things are being checked. So not necessarily they will always ask you volume and triple integration, double integration, gamma function, beta function, because they are very much formulaic, so that you can break it down. So now they are moving towards the direction of your fundamentals. So you know the fundamentals, right? You get your answer right. And now moving forward to question number 3a. Now this is your again your class 12th level question. You will find such questions in most of the books, but many students have made this question wrong, and because they have not read the question properly, or they took the question very lightly. See, this question is of 20 marks. Given the fact that it's a 20 mark, you have to show all the procedures, you have to verify everything. So if they are giving this question for 20 marks, you have to be very vigilant. So now first thing they are asking, find the critical point of the function. Point of the function fx. Second, they are asking, find the points at which local minima or minimum occurs. Third is your find the points at which local maxima occurs. Okay. Fourth is find the number of zeros of the function fx in 0 to 5. So this question is of 20 marks. It has how many parts? 4 parts. 20 marks, 4 part. And I'm sure first 3 part, you, even if you make gross mistakes, you will reach out. Many of you have argued about the fourth part, and there you need to give justification. In mathematics, if you are able to give justification and to what you are claiming, and if you are satisfied, then most probably it will follow logic and your answer will be correct. Fx is equal to 0 to x t square minus 5t plus 4 plus dt. Now first is that we have to find the critical point of the function. So to find the critical point of this function, we will write this fx, the capital Fx, that is the derivative of small fx. So this we are using the Leibniz rule, and we can write this as x square minus 5x plus 4 into x square minus 5 plus 6 is equal to 0. So if you can factorize it, x minus 1 and this is x minus 4 and this is your x minus 3, this is x minus 2. So what we get as our critical points are 1, 2, 3, 4 are critical points. So first point is answered. X is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 are critical points. So on a wavy curve, if you wish to show, you can write this as 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. So if you put the value, this negative, this positive, negative, positive. So if you wish to say this is the wavy curve. Okay. Now, second point is here we have to find local maxima and local minima. So what we will do, we have already found out f dash of x, which is x square minus 5x plus 4 into x square minus 5x plus 6. So we will double differentiate. F dash s is now 2x minus 5, and we can write this as x square minus 5 plus 6 plus 2x minus 5 x square minus 5x plus 4. Now 2x minus 5 is common, you can take it. So 2x minus 5, this is your 2x square minus of 10x plus 10. Okay, so this is multiplied, 6 plus 4 is your 10. Now we will put the values at x is equal to 1. Okay, our f double dash 1 is, see, 2 minus 5 is your minus 3. So this is your 2 minus 10 plus 10. So this is minus 6. So this is negative. So x1 is your local. If you do calculation, this question is given, this is just a calculation, nothing else. If you make calculation mistake, your answer will be wrong. So x is equal to 1 is your local maxima, or like local maximum. Similarly, at x is equal to 2, we can find out f double dash 2 is what? 4 minus 5 is minus 1, and this is your 2 into 4 minus 20 plus 10. So what we get? Minus 1, 8, 18 minus 20 is your 2. So here at 2 what we get? Local minima. At x is equal to 2 we get local minimum. At x is equal to 3, let us check f double dash 3 is you can put in this equation. So that is nothing but 2 into 3, 6, 6 minus 5 is your 1. This is 2 into 9 minus 30 plus 10. This is nothing but your minus of 2. This is again at x is equal to 3 is your local maxima or local maximum. At x is equal to 4, we will find. At x is equal to 4, f double dash 4, you can write 2x minus 5. This is your 3. Again, this is 2 into 16 minus 40 plus 10. So this gives us 6. So this is greater than 0. So x is equal to 4 is your local minima. So what we get? Part 2 and part 3 is answered. So local minima is at local minimum at x is equal to 2 and 4. Local maximum is at x is equal to 1 and 3. Okay. Now you can draw the graph if you wish to see what is happening. We'll draw for finding the last part. Now they're asking what is the number of zeros of the function fx in 0, 5. Okay, so we will write, this is a calculation, nothing else. You have to do in this in your examination. T square minus 5t plus 4, t square minus 5t plus 6 dt. Okay, so now I take a is equal to t square minus 5t. So this is nothing but a into 4 plus a plus 6, a plus 4, a into 6. So we can straight away write this as 0 to x, and this can be written as t to the power 4 plus 25 t square minus 10 t cube plus 10 t square minus 5t plus 24. Now here only thing is that we have to be cautious while doing the calculation. Okay, t to the power 4 plus 25 t square minus 10 t cube plus 10 t square minus 5t plus 24. So this is your 0 to x. T to the power 4 minus 10 10 cube plus 35 t square minus 50 t plus 24. Now integrate it. This is t to the power 5 by minus t to the power 4 by 4 plus 35 t cube by 3 minus 50 t square by 2 plus 24 t. So fx, we will put the limits. Limit is 0 to x. So fx is nothing but x to the power 5 by 5 minus 5 by 2 x4 plus 35 by 3 x cube minus 25 x square plus 24 x. Now let us check values. F0 is 0. F1 is, we will have to find this. We cannot make a comment on the number of zeros without finding the values. Now finding value is time consuming, so we will find F1. If all of them turns out to be 0, then we can say there is only at x-axis it cuts at 0 and all of them, they are not changing sign. So if all of this is coming as positive, then only we can make. And in examination you have to use your calculator, or even if you do not use your calculator, you have to find all of this, then this. So what is the purpose of doing this question? This question is not tough. This is the basic fundamental question. What this question test? This question tests whether you can do your calculation right or not till the last stage, and that is what I will illustrate. Now f1 I start with, I will write fx. Fx is x to the power 5 by 5 minus 5 by 2 x to the power 4 plus 35 by 3 x cube minus 25 x square plus 24 x. So you see f1 is 1 by 5 minus 5 by 2 35 by 3 minus 25 plus 24. So this you can write as 2 minus 25 10 plus 35 minus 3 by 3. Okay, this is minus 1. So this is nothing but minus 23 by 10 plus 32 by 3. This is your 30 and this is your 69, minus 69 plus 320. So f1 we get as 251 by 30. F1 we can write as 8.3677. So you can use, so F1 is positive. Similarly, find F2, F3, F4. So you have to write those values. F2 is, you have to do this calculation. 32 by 5 minus 5 into 2 into 16 plus 35 3 into 8 minus 25 into 4 plus 48. Okay, so this is your, we'll calculate minus 22 plus 96 plus 1400 upon 15. This is nothing but your minus 1380 plus 1496 by 15. So use your calculator. Again, this turned out to be positive. So I'm interested in not the value but the sign. So again, F2 turned out to be positive. What about F3? What about F3? So that is the dilemma in the exam, because you do not know the prior answer. So you have to do due diligence. 5 by 2 into 81 plus 35 into 9 minus 25 into 9 plus 24 into 3. So this is your 243.15 minus 405 2 plus 315 minus 225 plus 72. This is your 486 minus 2025 upon 10 plus 1620 is equal to minus 159 1539 plus 1628 by 10. This is your 8.1. Again, F3 is positive. Similarly, find F4 and F5. Similarly, you have to find f4 and f5. 4 to the power 5 minus 5 by 2, 4 to the power 4 plus 35 by 3 plus 24. This is 1024 by 5 minus 5 by 2 into 256 plus 335 by 3 into 64 minus 400 plus 96. This is your 1024 by 5 minus 640 plus 2240 by 3 minus 304. So minus 944 plus, you can use your calculator, find this. This is your 15 minus 14160, that's 14272. So f4 we get 112 by 50. Again, this is your positive. On the similar lines, find f5. There can be other methods to quickly find. Give, because the question is 20 marks, so I'm doing with all protocols and procedures. 5 to the power 3 minus 25, 5 whole square plus 24, 5. This is 5 to the power 4, 1 minus 5 by 2 plus 4, 3, 7, 5 by 3 minus 625 plus 120. So this is minus 1875 by 2 plus 43753 minus 505. You can use your calculator here. 8750 minus 5625 upon 6 minus 5 is equal to 3125 by 6 minus 505. This is your 95 by 6. This is your 15.833. So all of them are positive. So we start here. This is your crossing point 0, and again here 1. This is your 2. This is your 3, and this is your 4. So we can see between 0 to 5, their x-axis, it is cut at only 1 point. Okay. So it is not that you will draw the graph like this and cut with your own. You have to check out whether that happens or not. That's what you do when you do regular Fauci and bisection method. You check the roots. You use Rolle's theorem also. So use number of zeros of fx in 0 to 5 is 1. Hence not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. So with this we have done question number 3A, which is of 20 marks. Now question number 4C. Either this kind of question, Lagrange multiplier, they will ask in your real analysis also, like last year they have asked maximum minima. This year these are interchangeable questions. So that is the benefit of doing calculus. Most of the question in real analysis and calculus is essentially calculus. So do with all the vigor and rigor. So find and extreme value of function u is equal to x square plus y square plus z square subject to condition 2x plus 3y plus 5z is equal to 30 by using Lagrange method of undetermined multipliers. Now this is a very easy question, and we have given in our test even a bit slightly difficult than this, or the similar nature, which we showed you in the start of the video. So we can start its solution. We can write this function as x square plus y square plus z square plus lambda 2x plus 3y plus 5z minus of 30. Now we are using the Lagrange multiplier, though we can essentially we're interested in dx, so we will take this dx. Over here also lambda 2 dx. Similarly, symmetrical, we can write it as 3 lambda 3 dy plus 2z plus 5 lambda dz, and we put all of them to 0. So what we get, 2x plus 2 lambda is equal to 0, so we get x is equal to 0 minus lambda. So minus lambda, 2y plus 3 lambda is equal to 0, so what we get, y is equal to minus 3 by 2 lambda, and 2z plus 5 lambda is equal to 0, z is equal to minus of what, 5 by 2 lambda. So I'll count this question in the very simplest category, and most of the questions are basic questions. They test your fundamental knowledge itself and not other things. X, Y, Z are found out. Now if I call these equations as 1, 2, 3, I'm supposed to manipulate these equations. If I call this as my equation 1, 2 and 3. So what I do, I multiply one equation with x, two equation with y, add all of them. This is what we do to get the desired manipulation. So this gives us 2x square plus y square plus z square plus lambda 2x plus 3y plus 5z is equal to 0. So we get x square plus y square plus z square into 2 times, and we know this value is 30 lambda is equal to 0. So we get x square plus y square plus z square minus 15 lambda, and we are our terms. Just now we found x is equal to minus lambda, y is equal to minus 3 by 2 lambda, and z is equal to minus 5 by 2 lambda. So just put in this equation 2x plus 3y plus 5z. Put in equation 2x plus 3y plus 5z is equal to 30. So minus 2 lambda minus 3 by 2 into 3 lambda minus 25 by 2 lambda is equal to 30. So we get this minus 4 minus 9 minus 25. Lambda is equal to 60. So what we get? We get our answer as of lambda is equal to 60 by minus 38. Lambda is equal to minus 60 by 38. This is nothing but minus 30 by 19. So lambda we got as minus 30 by 19, and we are supposed to find the extremum value. So this is nothing but minus 15 lambda. So we get minus 15 into minus 30 upon 19. So this is your 450 by 90. So for that we have to go for second derivative. So once we do that, which is greater than 0, so we can conclude this plus y square plus z square minimum value is your 450 by 19 for lambda is equal to minus 30 by. So this is your Lagrange method of multiplier. So with this we end our solution series on calculus. So some of the takeaways from this is that you have to do all questions thoroughly and you have to go through the syllabus, previous year questions. Only 40 to 50% question will be repeated. So if you want to score more, that is above 300 plus rigorous practice, scientific approach to solve question. So you have seen on Aryabhatta's ashram, we provide seats on each and every topic, and we are coming up with a test series from 31st January 2021, that is sectional test, and here we will try to do more justice to the civil services examination paper, and we are very confident that if you do those tests or if you have some problem in some of the areas and if you join our guidance program, then certainly you will come up with flying colors. And with this I wrap up this session for calculus, and in the next video we will come with other series. And please do comment if you have anything to say in the comment box, and subscribe to our channel and spread this so that it can reach out to the large masses, and that will essentially help them to really understand the nature of examination, rather than beating about the bush, doing hundreds and plethora of books. You have to hit the bullseye. That is your previous year question, what is being asked and how it has to be prepared, and there should be simplicity in your preparation. And mathematics is a scientific subject, is highly objective. So with the last message is that if you do with due diligence and with the right frame of mind, we will also help you to reach your goal in times to come. Thank you.